Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Joey. Joey is from Arizona in the USA. So let's see what Joey has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joey. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time early morning for the interview. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for asking.
Where are you from? Tell me, Joey, before we start our interview.
Yeah, so we are in Arizona, USA. So,
Right. And what's the name? What's the name of your city, your town?
Peoria.
Peoria.
Yep.
What's the best part of living there?
Well, the nice weather. We actually just moved here from Iowa, which is in the Midwest, which is about negative 20 degrees right now, and it's about 70 degrees here. So we like the weather.
It's a big difference for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason we moved here. So
I see. And what do you do for a living?
So I'm a health coach. So we help people all over the United States work on creating healthier habits to create a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. So.
Oh, very interesting. So tell me a little bit about your job.
Yeah, so we work with, well, it started because I actually lost 65 pounds myself in about 3.5 months, about almost 5 years ago. And so people started wanting to know what I did. So I started kind of guiding them on their own journey, and it kind of morphed into what I do today. Because at the time I was an elementary principal back in Iowa. So I was doing it kind of on the side, and then it grew into what became my full-time business. But we literally just help clients, with their goals, whether it's weight loss or if it's creating healthier habits, creating better energy, working on their mindset, just all areas of health. And then we kind of look at them individually and then create that plan for them and help them, once they reach their goal. But if it's a weight loss goal, we still teach them how to maintain that through healthy nutrition, but making it easy and simple, and tapping them into resources, with us as their coach. And then also we have a community that we have them part of, and then as a former educator, I like that there's an educational piece. So we're teaching them how to replace the bad with the good, and still make it something that they can do for the rest of their life, and not feel like they're restricting themselves in any way. So
I see. And you start your business because of your own personal life, because you're lose weight.
Correct. Yes.
I see. Great. So just before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself. Well, one of the biggest things that I do tell people that's interesting is, so I'll be 39 this year. And so for the first time in 39 years, I've actually lived outside of Iowa, and I've actually lived outside of the house that I grew up in. So when we moved down here, it was the first time that I had ever lived outside of Iowa and outside of the house I grew up in. Now, I went to college and stuff and didn't always live in it full time, but that's still where I'd come back to. So that's a very interesting fact, because I don't think many people do that in their life. So.
Oh wow! So it's the first time that you left your hometown, you left your the place where you were born.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And how's it going so far? How are you feeling so far?
Great. Great. As soon as we got down here and the weather was nice and getting out and doing stuff, it was a needed move, a needed change, but it's been fun. We've been down here for a little over a month, like I said. So
very good. So are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Sure, let's do it.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Here my best friend, full of random fun questions. Okay, I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Ready?
All right,
let's do it. Right, Joy. So just before we start the game, so through the journey, if come up a question that you don't want to answer for some reason, or you don't want to have an answer for, I always can change. Okay, it's all very friendly. First question for you is, what do you like to cook the most?
That's a good question. I like to cook a lot of things. I'm a baker by heart, so lots of sweets. But I don't do it very often because I know I would eat them. So a lot of stuff I cook now is a lot of, vegetables and protein and just kind of creating new recipes that are still part of the goals that I've set for myself. So working on that. So yeah, I love to cook anything really. Try new things.
So now you don't eat anymore a lot of sweets or cook because of your health being okay.
Yeah, but I do still cook them. I just don't eat them very often. So because that was my downfall. I could eat a whole cake by myself in the past. So
welcome to the club. I can do the same as well. I have a sweet tooth, so I can eat like very easy sweets. I actually just had 2 scones now with butter.
Yeah, that does sound good. Hey, I do it every now and then too, so it's not like I don't do it. So
next one, let's do it. Right, next question for you is, in your opinion, what do you think people need to know about each other before they get married?
I just think they need to know, just about, kind of their beliefs and things that they like and don't like. Because it's, you don't want to go into anything like that with, a lot of mystery because it could cause a lot of issues down the road. So I think it's just being open and honest as much as possible before that happens. So they're not trying to deal with things that maybe you disagree on after the fact. So
I believe that you're in a relationship now. I was checking a little bit your profile and I could see something with your partner.
Yep. We're married, been married, it'll be 3 years in May. Yes. So yeah, I can relate to that. We were together 10 years prior to that though. So yeah, so we've known a lot. We've grown a lot.
Very good. Very good. Next question. Okay, Joey, so just before the next question, tell me, what do you like the most about your business, about your job? And of course, there is always a challenging part of it as well. What that would be?
Yeah, so I love most about just getting to connect with people all around the United States because we work with people that never would have known before. And so that's what I love, because I love meeting new people. And I just also love them seeing what's possible because I think for a lot of people, they don't think what they're trying to achieve in their health is possible. Until they find our program that we get to help them on because it really showed me what was possible because I never imagined I'd be where I'm at in my health. Now the challenging thing is it's really finding, we all have it. We all work with some of those people that, they say they want it, but they don't really want it. So you get a little frustrated because you also know that if they would just, kind of implement some of these changes, and they're not hard changes. It's just a mindset piece that they would see massive results. And it gets frustrating because it's possible for them. So I think that's the biggest challenge for me is because I want what's possible for them, but they don't see it yet. And so.
Most of your clients, they are female or males?
Both. We work with males and females, young, old, lots of weight, no weight. That's what I love about our program is we get to connect with so many people, so many different backgrounds, so many different goals. And it's just, we love it.
Very good. Next question for you is, what would be your theme song if you had your own show?
That's a good question. It's going to sound really weird, but when the song, every time I hear it, it's like, I picture myself walking into a room, but the song Fancy by Iggy Azalea, I don't know why. It makes me laugh. So I'm gonna say that one for some reason.
Good one.
Even though I'm not fancy at all, but that's okay.
It's not right or wrong. It's just what you feel.
Yeah.
Next question. Next question for you is, tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
Yeah, I would say for me, that would be, kind of everything I've achieved in my life, I've, done it myself. So I was a teacher prior to becoming an elementary school principal, did that for 8 years. I was the youngest principal hired in the district that I was in. But then also not only doing that, like what I achieved at that school, turning it from a very, low performing to a high performing school. But then so I was proud of that, but I'm also proud of walking away from that and doing what truly brought me joy and passion, which was the health coaching, not only partnering with people with their health, but then partnering people when they wanted to partner with people and help their friends and family get healthy too. Because it's been a joy to show people what's possible in their health and their life in many areas. So I think for me, that's been something I'm hugely proud of. And honestly, making the move here has been a huge thing for me because I'm the first one in my family to move. I literally lived in like a small town with all my family there, and I'm the first one to kind of, step out of the box, if you want to say. So
I see. And saying that, why Arizona? Why that area? Just because of the weather?
It is because of the weather. We also enjoy getting out and doing lots of outdoor activities, so hiking and stuff. There's lots of hiking to do, biking. We just like the big city feel. But we live in a suburb of Phoenix, but it's not the big city feel. It's more of like the neighborhood feel. So yeah, we just love getting out and doing stuff. And actually, after this, we're gonna go for a hike. We try to go every weekend and find a new place to hike. So
wow, good one. Next question, Joey, let's do it. Before the next question, as you mentioned before about you're in the education area as a principal, as a head teacher. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your career back then.
Yeah, so I was in education for 15 years prior to making the shift to full-time health coaching. And so I started teaching high school students about history, and then I went to teaching more of like middle school, so like 6th grade. And then I was an elementary principal, so a preschool through 6th grade building. And I've always worked in buildings that were very, what we call at-risk buildings here in the United States. So very high poverty, lots of, whether it be behavioral issues, social issues, emotional issues. And just, I loved it. I loved working with the kids. That for me was my biggest reward, was the kiddos, and just building the connections with them and their families, and then also providing them a safe space for school. Because for a lot of them, that was that safety and security and that consistency. So for me, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed not only working with the kiddos, but also the families, like I said, and then helping teachers be able to provide for the students, that social emotional safety zone for them, because that was a big thing for me. Education, I mean, the knowledge piece is great, but I think there's a lot of basic needs and stuff that we have to address before we can address some of the academic side of things. And that's what I was really, really adamant about, and just helping teachers see a different perspective about kiddos coming into school, maybe a little like angry, has nothing to do with them being disrespectful. It could be a whole lot of things that they are dealing with outside of school that they're bringing into school. And so it's one of those things that helping see that perspective. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed, I don't feel like I could have been in a different type of building, because I don't feel like I would have been, again, feeling like I was doing what I was called to do in education. So
very interesting what you just said now, Joey, because I had a teacher as well from South Africa, the other part of the world, and he was telling me, I asked him through the interview that what was the most challenging parts of like being a teacher, and he mentioned something that it stuck to my head and said to me, sometimes really when you see those children, that some of them you can see that something is going on in their private life with parenting, and sometimes it's very difficult for you to step in or kind of try to understand or to help out the child. He made me think about that actually, because for a teacher, a head teacher, a principal, I'm sure it's a challenge as well to deal with that, for sure, because it's not up to you anymore. You know what I mean? You try your best at school, you give the most you can to make this child to learn and to be happy, but at the same time, that back home there is something happening in their private life. So I believe it's a challenge to live with that.
Exactly. And I always told our teachers, like, there's probably things that these kiddos at the age of 8 are going through that we would never even imagine as an adult. So
yeah. Right, next question for you. Okay, this one is good for you because you are in a relationship. How would your partner describe yourself?
Weird. I'm a little quirky, and I can be moody. But But also somebody that's caring and empathetic and really does want what's best for people. So, but yeah, no, I would say that that's probably how they would describe me. So,
I couldn't see you be moody.
oh,
You
I
can
am.
be.
I'll admit it. I have my moments. I think we all do.
For sure, for sure. Next one. Next question for you is, what does family mean to you?
Family means a lot. I mean, I have a very small family, but I do, I definitely care for them, and we're there to support each other. And same thing with, with Tommy's family. Like they've become my family, and so it's like you just enjoy them and enjoy being around them, and they provide a lot of support in a lot of ways, like emotional and just like, I don't know. It means a lot to me, and I try to do everything that I try to do has been in the best interest of everybody in the family, which sometimes is a good thing, sometimes is a bad thing. So, but family is very important to me. So,
do you have siblings as well?
I do. I have an older brother and a younger brother. So, yeah, my older brother has two daughters. So I have an uncle to two nieces. One's in 8th grade and the other one is in 11th grade. And then my younger brother has special needs and lives with my mom.
I see. Very good. Next question. What are you drinking, by the way?
Coffee. I drink coffee all day long.
Next question for you is, what was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
Yeah, his name was DJ. DJ and I were always together, and I think it was partly because our parents were best friends. And so his older brother Nick and my older brother Josh were the same age and grew up, basically when they were born, they were together all the time. Same thing for myself and DJ. And then my younger brother and their youngest daughter are a few years apart, but we spent all the time together. And when we were kids, we'd like take turns staying at each other's house. They'd come out to our house and help us on the farm and stuff, because I grew up on a dairy farm here back in Iowa. But yeah, I mean, we went to the same high school and everything, and but like a lot of people in high school, we kind of went separate ways, and so we still see each other every now and then. But yeah, at the time, like he was probably my best friend just because of all the times we were together. So
good. And as you say about, as I can see that's how much you are connected with your family, you have the support of your family, but being gay, always being something, let's say, normal, or you always had the support of your family or not?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, when they found out, I think that they were all supportive. So
very good.
Yeah.
Ready for another one?
You sure?
Let's do it. Joey, next question for you is, what motivates you the most in life?
That's a good question. I think for me, what motivates me is to just be successful. Now, for me, that success is defined by a lot of different things, but it's just, to keep feeling proud of what I've done, and the things that I'm accomplishing, and just, the things I'm able to do, not only in my life, like being able to move, that to me was something that was a huge accomplishment and success to me, because of, it's not something that has been done before in my family. I also am very proud of, what I've accomplished in my life to this point. I mean, like I said, I'll be 39 in a few months here. So by the time I'm, 40, I mean, in another year, I can see that the place that I'm heading, and being able to say that everything I've done on my own. Nothing's been handed to me in life. I've worked my butt off to make it happen. And so I think for me, that's been a huge thing, and just kind of breaking the mold, if that makes sense, of kind of the town that I grew up in, and just kind of the trajectory that most of my family was on, meaning like they'd stay there for the rest of their life, they'd get married, have kids, and just kind of live in that town and work till they're at a normal 9-to-5 job until they're ready to retire, and then think they're going to live retirement and go out and explore and travel and stuff. And we know most people don't do that. So being able to do that, kind of reverse it. Like, not that I'm retired, but I have the ability and the option to do the things that I want to do because of with our coaching business. It opens up the door for us to be able to travel and still do what we do, being able to work remotely and build our own schedule. So I think it's just, for me, that's been a huge thing that I'm proud of. And I feel like I'm very successful in what I do and get to do and helping people reach their goals, because it starts with passion inside, because I know what it's done for me personally. And so being able to help others see and experience that themselves has been very rewarding to me too. So.
You say about you're the first person of your family to leave, to go away and kind of start a new life. Oh my God, I'm just thinking like, my God, imagine your family like with their hearts, like tight their heart.
Yeah, it was tough for my mom. I'm a mama's boy. I'll admit it. Like I think she was the one that took it the hardest. I think she's excited, but she's also sad in the fact that, I'm not right down the road, but I'm not like 20 minutes away versus, now I'm a 3-hour plane ride away, which is still not that far, but it's different. So, but yeah, I think I think it was a big change for all of us, because, most people, if they do it, they leave when they're younger, not as they're getting older. So I think that was kind of a shift.
You made me think now. When I'm originally from Brazil, and I was 19 years old when I left Brazil. I moved to Portugal, and I never forget this scene in the airport with my mom, because I was living on my own in the capital of my state. So she came to pick up my left thing that before I moved to Portugal. And I never forget. I'm saying goodbye to her, and that's when I found the first feeling. And I thought, okay, that's when I disconnect this. Think about mom and son, because I remember her like crying, and for the very first time I felt like empty. Like I said, my God, I'm going now so far, and my mom just there. It's like, you don't have any more plan B, just plan A from now on. So yeah. You made me think now, my God. Anyway, I think parents they raise their child for the world, not from themselves. So it's hard, but the way things is, for sure.
Yep, exactly.
Next question. Joey, for sure, being a coaching, for sure you do a lot of emotions, about a lot of energy as well. And of course, for sure, like dealing with emotion and energy from the other people as well. Sometimes you can get this energy from your private life in a positive way or a negative way as well. Do you find some mechanism to kind of protect yourself, not to bring this energy back to your personal life?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I will tell you that when I was actually, before I was coaching full time, when I was a principal, a lot of that stuff got brought home, and that was a problem. I brought a lot of those emotions and those stresses home, and just took them out on the wrong people, which is not fair to them. And so I knew that that's something I needed to get better at. And that's honestly part of the reason why I left education, because it was a sinking ship, in my opinion. But with that being said, for me now, do I connect with people that have negative energy? Absolutely. Does it drain me? Yeah, it does, because I realize that that's not the person I am. I'm a very positive person. I'm a very, glass is half full kind of person. So the things that I make sure that I have a lot of time for self-care. So I do a lot of, in the morning, a lot of morning reflection, whether it's reading a book, journaling, doing things like that. I also get out and do a lot of, like I said, hiking. I decompress through hiking. Taking the dogs for a walk. We have 3 dogs, or going to the gym and working out. That's something that I find joy in, and find as a place for me. If I am feeling a little bit stressed, I'd leave it there. I'd leave that energy there, because you can take that negative energy and use it to your advantage in the gym, and get some good personal goals and gains there. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then we do a lot of kind of just date nights and things like that, to try to kind of separate the two, because when there's some pros and cons to working from home. You get to work from home and set your own schedule, but you're always home, so you got to kind of create some boundaries, and you got to create some opportunities to kind of wear one hat and then put on another hat, if that makes sense. So
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you need to be good with yourself to give the right service to your clients. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, absolutely.
Exactly. Yep.
Next question for you is, what three things are you most grateful for?
I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my family and friends, and I'm grateful for my partner, Tommy.
That was a very easy answer.
It is. I can go on. I mean, I'm grateful for getting to do the things I do and helping the people I do, but those are probably the top three.
Very good. Next one. Next question for you is, who would you swap lives with for a day, if you could?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, it might be somebody that this sounds, and I don't know if it's necessarily a person, but I'm thinking of somebody that maybe is the complete opposite of me, is someone that is struggling day to day, that is, maybe doesn't have a roof over their head, somebody that's living, a life of poverty. Like I put myself in the role of some of my families that I used to work within education and stuff, and just I can empathize in some ways because I know, like, I can feel like the thing, but I think putting myself in their shoes, like living a day in their life, would be very eye-opening. Now I know most people would probably say they'd want to switch places with somebody that is like, a billionaire or a sports star or something like that. But for me, I think it's kind of seeing, that's great. I mean, that's awesome. But I feel like sometimes one of the things that I know about myself and I don't know what it looks like yet, but one of the reasons I'm in health coaching is it opens up doors in both time, but also finances to help, to be able to have the ability to help that population that I used to work with. Not sure what it's going to look like yet, but that's kind of, I keep seeing it in the back of my eyes somehow, being able to impact them. And so I think for me, if that experience would allow me to kind of live their life for a day and just know where that impact could come from. So
good one. Very good. Ready for another one?
Sure.
Let's do it. Next question for you. What was your worst wardrobe mistake?
I think anything that I wore as a kid.
We grew up in the 80s. I think the 80s clothes was a bit tricky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, and again, I say that, jokingly, but it's like, I look back and it's like, okay, I think about, okay, why did we wear the things that we did? But again, it was the times. But yeah, I think I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I see pictures of me from even back when I was in college, 10 years ago or so. I'm like, what was I thinking? Just kind of some of the clothes and stuff. And I don't know. I remember the polo shirts that, have the collars, and for a time, I don't know for you guys, but people used to wear the two of them and then pop the collars and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why did we ever think that was cool? So now that's funny, because now I'm like jeans and a t-shirt, shorts and a t-shirt. That's my go-to. Can't go wrong with that.
For sure. Next one. Joey, let's say if I would like to look for a healthier life, for a healthier habits, and I'll come up to you and say, okay, Joey, I would like to start a program. What would be the first steps that you would advise your client for the very first beginning, for the very first time? How that would be?
Yeah. So for all of our clients, we like to start with a quick little, what we call a health assessment. So we jump on the phone or Zoom or however works best for them, and we just talk. We talk about what their goals are, why those are important, and then we're very futuristic, and we want them to start painting that picture of what their life is going to be like when they get there. Not if they get there, but when they get there, because it starts with the mindset. And so when they know, like, when we're painting that picture, it's helping them create that excitement for what's coming. Okay. So, like, not only just when they see, if it's let's say it's a weight loss goal, if they see themselves at, a number they haven't seen for a while, but that's great. but what's it going to mean for them? Are they going to be able to get out and go for a bike ride? Are they going to be able to get on the ground and play with their kids or grandkids? Are they going to be able to go run that marathon that they've always been wanting to run but have never been able to because they're overweight, or the extra pressure on the knees and joints and stuff? So we start there. And then from there, we explain what our program is. We explain that they get to work with us as a coach, and we walk this journey with them. And we are not somebody that does everything for them, because ultimately we want to empower them and teach them to create this sustainable lifestyle. We're not a diet, we're a lifestyle. We have to be able to do that on our own. Because you can't always call someone and be like, hey, I'm here, what should I do? So that's our goal as our coach. And then we want them to also feel connected with people that are in the same boat. And so we, especially right now with everything going on in the world, people need positivity and encouragement and support and engagement, and that's what our community does. So tapping them into that, I think, has been very impactful. We teach them how to identify some of those bad habits, whether it's around nutrition, hydration, sleep, stress management, things like that, and just seeing, okay, here's where the current act. We all have a starting point, but where do they want to be, and how are we going to get there? And we check in with them every week, and we're talking about what they're learning about themselves and because again, it starts with the mindset and starts with their thinking. So we're changing it there. And then we create, no matter what your goals are, you need to have a solid nutrition plan, because it starts with how we fuel our body. And so for all of our clients, they're going to, no matter what, they're going to eat 6 times a day. Now, what that's going to look like is going to depend on what their goals are. And so that's kind of where we start with them. And then once we get them to their goal, whatever that might be, okay, we're going to help them see, okay, here's how you can maintain where you're at, because that's where you want it to be, but still do it, make it simple and easy, and always have us as a support system. So that's the biggest thing, is we're always there to support. And we just love to their wins are our wins, because it's fun for us to see them. You know, we have a couple right now that they're doing this journey together, and it's just exciting they shared with us the other day that between the two of them, they've lost in about, I think it's about 6 weeks, they've lost like almost 60 pounds together. And they're like, that's the size of a second grader. We've lost an entire second grader. And she did a post today about how she wants to lose. I mean, she's got a big goal, and she's like, I'm like 150 pounds is how much she wants to lose. And she's like, that's a whole person, but I've already lost a second grader. So now I'm going for a third grader and then a fourth grade. So it's just, it's fun like that. And so, but yeah, that's what we love. We just love people just reaching out and connecting with us and saying, hey, how did you get healthy? Or how did this person get healthy? Is that possible for me? And what we like to show people is it's possible for anybody, as long as you're ready to make some changes in your life.
See, good point. Next question for you is, do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest?
I mean, I think I know people that, a lot of times I would say myself, but I truly don't think I'm fully living my life to the fullest yet, because I still think that there's concepts that I have in my head that I'm working through. Do I think there are people out there? Absolutely. Would I love to meet them? Yes, because I think that some people, even like myself, like I said, we're living a pretty full life, but there are still things that maybe we're not doing to the fullest, because we got some more stuff in our head that's kind of holding us back. So
very good. I have 3 questions left for you, okay?
Sounds good.
Do it. Next question for you is, when have you been the most happy?
When I've been the most happy is really just being who I am, like not worrying about what other people think. And that actually honestly has been over the last probably 3 to 4 years. Because I think for a while, a lot of it was, I was trying to fit into a box that I felt like I needed to fit into, both with my personal life and my career. But I think as I started accepting the fact that I don't have to fit into that box, I can be who I truly want to be and desire to be, and find joy and passion in different ways. Like, that's the thing. And honestly, it's because of this health journey, the health community that I was a part of, that showed me that you don't have to fit in the box that you feel like you need to. Now, it was a challenge for me in a lot of ways to kind of push myself to that. But when I truly did start to step outside my comfort zone in those ways, I found a lot of freedom and a lot of, fulfillment and joy and passion. So.
Good, very good. I think when you go out of your comfort zone, you can find so many beautiful things out there.
Yep.
Sure,
exactly.
For sure. 2 questions left.
Sounds good.
Before the next one, I've got 2 questions in one. First one, do you think that nowadays people, they are more, let's say they want to become more healthier? I don't know, I mean, past the years, I think through the COVID crisis since this last 2 years, they think that people, they have a different mindset regarding healthier life. And also there is something that because your business, something that you need to eat, that you don't like it, but you eat because it's good. It's good for you. And what do you do with the most of eating that you cannot eat anymore? Because I mean, you can still eat, but you don't eat very often.
Yeah. I do think that COVID, the crisis and everything that's been going on has changed a lot of people's perspectives for the good and for the bad. A lot of people have, really used this as a time to level up in their health, and some people have used it as a time to let their health go. And so I think it just depends on the person and the philosophy and I truly ultimately think a lot of it comes back to the mindset. It's is this happening to me or is this happening for me? Because, a lot of people sometimes, take being, during quarantine and all, and we're back in the early days of this when we weren't sure what was going on. A lot of people kind of reverted to negative habits of drinking and eating and things like that to deal with the emotions. And I'm not gonna lie, like there was a time, like a short period of time, because of the stress of everything and work, that I probably didn't make some of the best choices, but that's okay, that's life. And so I feel like I also knew that, look, this is not happening to me, this is happening for me. And it would open up the doors to see other things in perspective. It actually was the catalyst for me to say, I'm out of education, I am on to full-time coaching. But I do think it's an opportunity for people to see, okay, there's not a lot of things I can control, but one thing that I can control is my own health, and that's both physical and the mindset. And so I think for some people, they've realized that, yep, I need to take some steps in the right direction. And we've worked with a lot of people. And the great thing about what we do is we get to do it remotely and virtually. So it's like they can still be in their own home and they can control that. So I think that's been a huge thing that I've seen through the whole COVID crisis. The other, to the other point to your question of, giving up things and stuff. In the beginning, yes, I did change. Like I said, I was a huge sweet person. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in like a school. I mean, I don't know if it's the same, over where you're at versus here, but like the teacher's lounge is always full of delicious, unhealthy stuff, cookies, donuts, cake, all that kind of stuff. And so like I said, I would eat that. Like that was my diet before I actually started worrying about my health. So I feel like in the beginning I was giving up stuff. Yeah, but that stuff wasn't good for me. You know what I mean? And so I've switched to very, I'm very, I don't want to say organic because I'm not organic, but like a lot of, grains, dairies, proteins, vegetables, fruits, things like that. And the funny thing is, that's what I like. My habits have changed, that's become my new normal. So I still eat, don't get me wrong, I still eat the cakes. I still go eat a nice hamburger, and I still go eat, fries and all the fried food. We're from the Midwest. Fried food is amazing stuff. But I eat it, but my body says why, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm eating that anymore. So it's not. I don't feel like I'm giving up anything anymore because I've changed my habits that I actually enjoy that. Like, when I go out to eat at a restaurant, which we go out to eat quite a bit. I'm just making better choices, and that's what I actually like. Some of that stuff that I used to would have eaten, like a lot of pasta and things like that, it just doesn't sound good to me anymore because I've changed what I'm putting in my body, and ultimately I feel much better when I'm eating the things that I actually enjoy eating. So,
good one. Next question for you is: what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
Yeah. Honestly, it'd just be, with my mom, like just always being there and supporting me and just being my biggest encourager. We grew up in a very I would say, I mean, at the time I didn't really realize it, but now that I look back, we were very like, poor, very like my parents were struggling to make it. They didn't let us know that. They still tried to make us have the things that we wanted to the ability that they could. And so for me, that always has resonated with me. And that's something that I've always admired of my mom, is that she, even though it was probably a stretch for them sometimes, the things that they did for us as kids, I mean, I almost have a sense of guilt because of that, but I know that's what parents do. They want their kids to have the best that they can with the ability, with the capabilities that they do have. So
I think she'll be very happy to see the interview and know that.
Thank you.
Very good. Let's ready for the last one?
Yep.
Let's do it. Joey, before the last question, as you've been in the education field for a few years, what would be your best piece of advice for someone who's watched the interview, would like to become a teacher one day?
Yeah. I think, just knowing that going into education, it's not just about teaching academics. I think our education system is changing so much that teachers have a lot on their plate. I don't think a lot of people realize that, especially people that go into education. So I think just being ready to understand that you're going to wear lots of hats. You're not just going to be teaching math and reading and writing and science and social studies. You're going to be teaching emotional behavior, social emotional stuff, how to deal, like empathy, all that kind of stuff. And it's just our kids need so many different tools today that as a teacher, it's beyond the basics of academic. And I think just knowing that, and knowing that from an administrative side, just knowing that it's not that, I mean, again, I know everything's different, but it's a lot of times people are like, well, we don't get no support. Like teachers, they feel like they go into education, they don't get support. 99.9% of the time, it's not that the administrators are bad and don't want to support. It's that they don't have the support either. They are in the same, it's the same idea that as a principal, they don't get the support that they need from the people that are above them. And so it's kind of that trickle down effect. And so it's kind of being able to see outside their little zone. Like, I mean, Like I remember when I was teaching, my perspective was always 9th grade social studies teacher. I didn't really see how the administrative side or like if I was a 9th grade teacher, how 10th grade and 11th grade and 12th grade, how they all work together, but we live in our own perspective. So being able to see an entire perspective from an entire building standpoint, I think is huge for a teacher to have the most success that they can in a career. Because if they start pinpointing themselves into one perspective and they feel that that's the right perspective, and not being open to other ideas, it's going to cause a lot of negative thoughts, negative emotions. It's going to cause burnout and frustration.
Good one. Last question for you. Let's do it. What is your favorite weekend activity?
Yeah, it depends on the time of year. So I used to love going to, when we were in the Midwest, when it was cold and stuff. I always look forward to summer when it was nice. We'd go to the lake. My in-laws have a lake house. So I love spending time on the lake and on the water. But that's changed now because we have nice weather on the weekend. So honestly, for us, one of the things I've really enjoyed, even just in the month that we have been down here, is getting out and going for a hike. And it's, just kind of exploring the area. And then after that, we like to find a nice little restaurant, do some post-workout fuel. So like a nice salad or something like that, just get to explore the area, and then also just get to spend some quality time together, kind of just focusing on us and not the business or anything else. So that's kind of what I've really enjoyed the last, like I said, month, and hopefully continue to that tradition as we're down here. So.
And I can see a lot of hearts going out of your head talking about your partner.
Yeah, no, like I said, we've had some good times, some bad times, but I think we've worked through that, and that's kind of goes back to one of your original questions about marriage and stuff. We've had to have some good conversations about each other and stuff, and what our future looks like. So,
good one. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words, and just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with family.
Fame. Love.
Money?
Good.
How about love?
Needed.
How about sex?
Good.
Life?
Adventure.
Politics?
I'm trying to think of a word. Avoid.
One word for religion?
Open.
Okay. Fear?
Motivating.
Friendship?
Needed.
Desire?
Growth.
Regrets?
Lessons.
Success?
Happy.
Wish?
Motivation.
One word for happiness?
Family.
One word for teacher?
Saints.
One word for USA?
Home.
And the last one now, wellness coaching.
Passion and purpose. That's 2 words.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your partner, what is the most beautiful thing about Joey, and what's something that he still needs to improve on, to work on? What do you think he'll tell me?
Let's start with the thing I need to improve on, and that is being, not always feeling like they know the answer. Trying to be more open to other opinions and stuff, because that was something that I know I need to work on. And then the best thing is just his heart, cares for people, loves people, almost too much sometimes.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely mom, would be the same answer?
I think for sure on the positive side. On the what he needs to work on, I honestly don't know, because the mom is always like, he's perfect. So I don't know. And I've honestly never had that conversation with her. So
she'll tell you after that.
She will.
Let's play now Joey and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Joey from USA, you can ask me a question now.
All right. I love this question. It's going to seem like a weird question, because I always asked it after every interview, at the end of every interview that I did for a staff member when I was hiring them. And it just, for me, it allows me to kind of see inside them a little bit. So for you, I'm going to ask you the exact same question. So William, what is your spiritual animal?
Okay.
Why?
I think my spiritual animal, right. Okay, I think the first one that I resonate a lot with, it's a horse. I think the horses, they are very strong creatures. They are very strong. At the same time as well, they are very sensitive. I think they feel the room where they are, the place where they are. They feel the people who are hiding there. And they feel the connection with people very easy. Sometimes, I don't know if you had this impression, but when you are very close to horses and you see their eyes, my God, you can see so much emotions in their eyes. It's like this beautiful big eyes, just like shining. And you can see if they are sad, if they are happy, if something's going on, about your energy as well. I think I resonate a lot with horses. For the same time, they're very strong creatures, but always the time I spent as a child, I spent a lot of time with horses, and I remember, my God, I felt protective around them. For some reason, I knew they were there for me for some reason, and I felt that I could trust them. And also, I was a bit scared as well at the same time, but looking into their eyes, I could see the caring, or the give me this strength. Okay, you can do it. You know what I mean? So I've always been very related with horses. I love animals. Like overall, my God, I could tell you like a list of all of them. But right now, the horse figure just came into my mind for sure.
Awesome, love it. We actually raise horses, so that I loved hearing that.
There we go. Joey, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
I did. No, I appreciate you asking. It's like you never know what to expect, and it's like, so I'm like, hey, let's just do it and see what happens. So
I'm very glad that you did. It's nice to connect with someone very intelligent, someone who just changed, just gave a different move of your life right now. And I can see so much happening in your mind, and you're just enjoying the journey challenge for sure. But you're enjoying, I can see how much you're enjoying, how much you feel secure that you did the right choice. It's just nice. I think we're connected at the right time. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
But before we go, I would like you to share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires in life.
Yeah. So for me, I hear a lot of things, that kind of resonate and inspire with me. But one thing that I've heard over the last few years as I've learned about kind of how I want to progress forward in my own life and what I want to do, it all starts up here in the mindset. And for me, that's been huge. And so I'm always reminded of the quote, and Henry Ford, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So meaning, you can do whatever you want, but if you start doubting yourself and start thinking like, oh, that's not going to happen for me, I kind of even relate to my own health journey. Being overweight my entire life, I was like, I'm never going to be healthy. I'm never going to be at a healthy weight, because that was an excuse that I was telling myself. So it was like, I was giving myself an excuse every time that I tried to get healthy and didn't get there. But when I determined that I am going to be healthy, I was able to get there. I went from, obese at about 240 to I'm about 140 now. So, it's been a huge journey. And then it's like, I keep telling myself, yes, I can become a full-time coach. I don't have to be in that box. So I'm telling myself that, yes, I can move out of the state. So yes, I can and so as we're setting these goals for ourselves, I'm telling myself I can, and I remind myself each day of what we're doing and why we're doing it, because if I start to give myself an excuse or an out, I don't put in the work that I need to do to make it happen. So that quote always resonates with me, just because it's like, if anything's meant to be, it's up to me. Like, yeah, there's things that are out of my control, but there's a lot of things that are in my control that I need to make sure that I'm doing each day to make myself work towards those things that I've set for myself. So
let's make it happen. Let's make things happen.
Exactly. I'm excited.
Joey, thanks so much. It was a pleasure to connect to you. All the regards for your partner, for your family, and you keep in touch, okay? Enjoy your hiking now. Enjoy it.
Thank you. You have a good rest of your day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.